recent days in international societies? Well, yeah, you may heard that MDG or SDG. Yeah, we will see issues. Okay, let's start the part one of today's lecture. Part one, we will see the paradigms on the development issues in the international societies. Development issues actually is in the long history of the human beings. Development issues can be used in many ways. For example, sometimes in the colonialism or imperialism seasons, developed countries such as European countries, they use these concepts to control or dominate the colonial countries in the Africa or South Asia or South America. But in the modern society, since Second World War, we have to change this concept. Many new countries, independent countries from the former colonial relationship, they needed help, assistance from the developed world. So they, again, use this concept, but in a different ways, comparing to the former years. So we will see this point, the recent days concept, right? Okay, in 1940s, that means just after the Second World War, international societies started the issues, the development issues in the a bit modern ways. They opened their eyes to help the international societies. They opened their eyes to help the developing world in a different concept, to share, to coexist in the international societies. Developed world have to help the developing countries. For these concepts, World Bank and the United Nations and the IMF, those kind of international organizations started to use the development issues. Well, then, many developed countries, they use these things, and they have done many development assistance projects. But in the late of 1990s, international societies, they realized that it's time to change a bit different ways. Not just from the one-way development assistance from developed world to developing country. This concept must be changed. They realized that, and they thought that these concepts must be changed to different ways. Developing countries and developed countries, they are in the equal level. And then they must share their ideas and they work together, even if it is development assistance work. So in 2000, United Nations, they announced that new international goals, that is 8 Millennium Development Goal. We call that MDGs. MDGs must be achieved in near future until the 2015, overcoming the problems of development assistance in the former days. And then 2000, the millennium, to be a turning point or monumental things, monumental buildings, to change the paradigm of development issues. And then they started to talk, how can we estimate the work? And then if we can evaluate the works of certain development project, then we can make the better solution in the future. That is main concept. Then, after the MDGs, which is finished in the year 2015, United Nations, they again, they announced, they launched a new concept. That is Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. So, recent days, since 2000, international societies, they made many kind of framework to change the paradigms of the development issues. Okay, let's see the organizations in the international societies. First of all, OECD is one of the major players in the international society to help other countries. In the big institution, the OECD, DAC, is the major branch for the development work. World Bank is also major players in the international societies regarding development works. In the World Bank groups, International Development Association, that is IDA, is the major branch for that job. In the United Nations, we have many kind of agencies or branch regarding development issues. Each institutions or each agencies, they are doing different development work in a special area or a different aspect. For example, United Nations Development Program, UNDP, it is one of the major agencies or branch for the job. UNESCO, you may heard these organizations. It is the one part of the United Nations groups. United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, they are doing many kind of assistance work regarding education, science, and cultural protection. So in this field, they can do the development work. UNCTAD, this is the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. This is the trade area and development related field branch in the United Nations. So they are trying to make many development issues or development work regarding trade and development related things. It is it's quite difficult job, I know, However, economy is one of the major part in the development issue. How can we make the money? We can sell some product. Yeah. But these things in the international societies, these work, economic activities in the international societies are mainly made by trade works. Therefore, trade and development, yeah, the two different areas are very related. But in the first step, it was very difficult. But yeah, it was successful to make linkage. Therefore, developing countries, they could open their eyes to make money with development project. For example, a certain developing country, they can expand the infrastructure to do their export work. For example, making harbor, yeah. If they have a good harbor, then their export or import work must be easier than before. Then it can be good for the trade jobs. Yes, it is. So many developing countries, they could make the good harbor as an infrastructure for the boosting the trade work. However, they didn't have enough money, for example. Then developed world or international organization, they could provide the development work, yeah, budget to expand the infrastructure. World Trade Organization, yeah. If UNCTAD is a part of United Nations, World Trade Organization, WTO, this system is quite different things. Different, yeah, international organization. This WTO system, yeah, this WTO is one of the important players in the international society, especially for the trade works or economic works. The functions of WTO is definite things. Of course, WTO can make a co-work with the UNCTAD or UNDP or World Bank and the other international organization. But regarding trade issues, WTO is the pivot. Yes. Therefore, WTO tries to consider many developing country members. More than 160 WTO members, majority are the developing countries. Therefore, recent days, WTO, they are more keen with the development issues. How can you make the linkage, the trade works or economic works and development issues? The combination, this is very, very fresh one and important work for the development issue. And then many other multinational development banks, they are also a kind of types of development organization. For example, Asian Development Bank, their headquarters is in Manila, Philippines. The Asian Development Bank, it was established for the construction of economy in the developing country in the Asian area. Their main function is quite similar to the World Bank, but their major area is Asian area. Yes, regional development bank, regional multinational development bank are many. AFDB, African Development Bank, yeah, is like the Asian Development Bank in Africa. Yeah. Okay, so we can say that in international societies, there are so many international organizations regarding development work. They are, all of them, they are major players in international societies to do their development work. Okay, let's see a bit more deeper swimming pool. Yeah, the prospect of the international development and the ODA. Yeah, we will see the very briefly. We will see the changes of the paradigm of development issues in the international societies. Let's start from the MDGs. I said that United Nations, they launched the very brand new development work paradigm calling Millennium Development Goal. This started in the year 2000. So that's why we call the Millennium Development Goal. This Millennium Development Goal, MDG, has 8 major goals, major goals. That is the upper level. And then each goals have the sub-target, sub-goals, yes. So totally, they are 21 targets. So under the 8 goals, there are 21 targets. So the United Nations, they said that, yes, 8 Millennium Development Goals, and under the goals, 21 action target, a bit more detailed one, are the mainstream of the future activity of United Nations regarding development issues. So MDG could be a kind of main structure of the goals of the United Nations regarding development issues. These goals was announced in the United Nations Millennium Declaration. 21 target, their functions are quite simple. This is a detailed roadmap under each goals, 8 goals. So when we see the 21 target, we can understand that what is the prospect in the millennium seasons, for the United Nations organizations, or even whole international societies. Let's see the 8 Millennium Development Goals. First, let's see the icons of each goals. First, eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Of course, human beings must be free from the hungerness. Food, this is very important thing. The very basic fundamental things. If we are full, then we can understand other people, and then we can help other people. So eradication of the poverty and hungerness, this is the fundamental, the foremost important things. Second, achieve universal primary education. Education, this is one of the major goals for the future. Why we are teaching the people? Because we want to make better societies in the future. So education, this is the very important thing for the future. So primary education normally is for the children. Yeah, this is the first step of the whole education system. So let's make the better primary education. Yeah, this is the second goal. Third, gender equality between men and women. For a long time, generally speaking, in many places in the international societies, women, they had to struggle to the inequality systems. Therefore, gender equality became one of the important problems in the many societies. Therefore, United Nations, they pointed that gender equality, this is very important thing. How can we improve the gender equality? Yes, try to make the power for the woman, empower woman. It can be one of the solution for the better gender equality situation. So the third goal, promote gender equality and empower women. Yeah, this is the important goals for the Millennium Days. Fourth, reduce child mortality. Yeah, still many countries have the babies, the higher level of the death of babies. Children and babies, they are the future of the whole international society. Yes. So, we have to reduce the rate of the death of the children or babies. Then we can see the future of whole human beings. Fifth, improve maternal health. It is related to the former goals, but it is also the independent goals. To improve the health of the babies or the woman, we have to consider the pregnant woman. So maternal health, this is the important point for the both of the woman and the children. Babies, protection of the babies, this is the very, very important point for the future. Sixth, combat HIV or AIDS, malaria or other diseases. Human beings are considered the disease in the international societies. Yes, for long history of human beings, over the boundaries of their countries, disease made a huge impact to the societies. So these diseases could make the very harm to the whole international societies. But the thing is that normally developing countries are very weak to protect their people from the disease comparing to the developed countries. Therefore, they made these goals. Let's help the developing countries to combat against the diseases. Seventh, ensure environmental sustainability. Yeah. Recent days, human beings and many countries, they opened their eyes, the importance of environmental issues. Protection of environment or the sustainable protection work for the environmental issues, these became the important jobs. So, yeah, seventh goals became one of the major Millennium Goals, yeah, in the year 2000. Before then, developing country, they didn't consider this point because they are just want to the poverty issues reduction, yeah, and the hospitality of people and economic development. It was the most important things. Environmental protection, it is not our issues. It is issues for the developed country. They said that way. However, international society realized that environmental issues is not just for the certain countries' issues. It is whole things for the all human beings. Therefore, societies must help developing countries to do the environmental protection work. Lastly, eighth, development global partnership for development. Yes, we have to assist developing countries to make good partnership, good network. So, development, the partnership for development works. This is the last goal. When you see the icons, each icon of the each goals, then you can easily understand what they want, what is the core things for these goals. Okay, let's see the evaluation. 2010, international societies, they started to check, how many things, how much volumes of the work has been done. It was very difficult job. However, for a long time, international societies, they are quite neglected, to evaluate their work. And then, United Nations, they try to make the solutions for the checking, with the result of check. And then, United Nations announced many kind of report for each countries. And then many countries, they tried to overcome the problems with the result of the evaluation. For example, United Nations, they pressed the MDG Gap Task Force report in 2011. In the report, they mentioned that economic troubles make delivery on the anti-poverty commitment even more urgent to achieve the MDGs. In those days, United Nations Secretary General also mentioned that certainly the global economic outlook remains sobering. However, but this cannot be an excuse not to deliver the development work. We cannot afford to leave the poor even further behind. Therefore, they tried to boost many countries to join to the development job following MDG's goals. Let's talk about another point. I mentioned that OECD is also one of the major players in international societies regarding development issues. Okay, to see the point, to see the OECD jobs, we have to check the Paris Declaration and Accra Agenda Action. It is quite old one, and we just briefly see this work. Paris Declaration in 2005, OECD, the United Nations, when the United Nations launched the MDGs, another organization has to launched their own paradigms for the development work. So OECD, they invented their own framework, a practical, action-oriented roadmap to improve the quality of the assistance work by OECD. To do that, they tried to make some paradigm or a kind of goals. And they made 5 fundamental principles for making assistance more effective and also can be undertaken by the Development Assistance Committee, DAC, of the OECD. And then the fundamental principles can be activated with the monitoring system, the evaluation system. So we can say that since the year 2000, international societies realized that evaluation or estimation, checking, monitoring, it became important than before. And then they mentioned, they announced these things, the Accra Agenda for Action. Let's see the 5 fundamental principles in the Paris Declaration. The ownership of developing country. That is, developing country is not just the target of assistance. They are also important partners and the owner of development assistance work. Right? Alignment of donor countries. So many years, developed world, they just work for the developing country, not considering other neighbor countries. But it was not good for the effectiveness. Sometimes the donor countries, developed world, must consider other countries to make more effective work. So alignment of donor countries became the important principle. Harmonization of the participant. Participant means not just developing country, but also developing country. So all of the partners are participants in the certain developing work. The partners must be harmonized together. They must share the information together to avoid the duplication, right? 4th, research of real development. So, they wanted to make effectiveness of the development work. So OECD, they tried to focus on the research, monitoring system, or measurement of work. Before then, to be honest, they didn't care about these things, not much. But they changed their mind. So research, evaluation, becoming important job. So it became the principle of the Paris Declaration. Last one, mutual accountability of partners. Partners must check together the research. And they have to talk about the research with the statistical research or the monitoring system, etc. So to make real development work, the mutual accountability, work together and checking together, and the sharing together the information became the one of the major principle, fundamental things in the future development work of OECD. And then 2008, several years later, the Accra agenda by the OECD launched. It is a kind of action plan under the principle of the Paris Declaration. Look, student, 8 Millennium Development Goal has 21 sub-targets, right? The structure is quite similar to these things. Paris Declaration made 5 principles for the OECD development work. And then several years later, Accra agenda, they pointed the detailed action plan. Right? Okay? Yeah. So Accra agenda, the Accra agenda for action in 2008 pointed some kind of the action plan, which is designed to strengthen or deepen the implementation of the Paris Declaration. Got it? Yeah. There are 3 main areas for the improvement of the future development job: ownership, inclusive partnership, and delivering research. When you see these words, then you can understand that. Okay, since 2000, in the OECD, what became the important things than before? Ownership, participating developing countries, that is the partnership, and sharing the research with many participants together for the effectiveness of their work. Okay, guys? Yeah. Let's see the effect and evaluation. Yeah, it was good. So, international societies, the OECD group, they evaluated what happens after the Paris Declaration and the Accra agenda. We can say that, yes, progress has been made based on these principles and action plan. However, not 100%. Still, we have long way to go. They pointed that the changes are very slow. So they have to do more, many more things. Okay? Not satisfied. Okay, guys, let's have a break time and see you in year part 2. Okay, guys, let's see part 2. MDG or Paris Declaration, with that, it changed the whole paradigms of the development work. Since 2000, United Nations and the OECD, they changed the fundamental things or paradigms of their development work. Yeah, the symbol of the changes, yes, are MDGs in United Nations and Paris Declaration in the OECD. Now, for about 10 years, they have done many things to change the paradigms. Since 2010 or 2015, yeah, after 2010, yeah, again, they pushed the international societies for more, yeah, furthermore step to change, to improve, to stimulate the new work. There is new paradigm for the development activities, the international societies, since 2010 or 2015. Okay, after the MDG, United Nations, they checked what happens during the MDG seasons. The MDG was finished, it was supposed to be finished in year 2015. And they needed new paradigm for the development action after the year 2015. So, 2012, Rio 20 conference, yeah, United Nations proposed new step for the post-MDG issues. Well, yeah, this is the kind of forum for the each member countries to make further step after the MDGs. Yeah? And then they made the progress to make new paradigms after the year 2015. And they proposed the new word, Sustainable Development Goals, replacing the MDG words. So many countries, they realized that MDG was quite successful, but we need more new brand things. And then they invent the new word, Sustainable Development Goals. And then, with the finish line of the MDG issues, areas, 2015, United Nations, they launched new paradigm, that is Sustainable Development Goals, to replace the works of MDGs. So in 2015, United Nations Sustainable Development Summit, they adopted these things, saying, transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So, as the post 2015 United Nations, they make Sustainable Development Goal in official ways. Okay, the transforming the world 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the mainstream is quite simple. Many things have to be done in the future. MDG was good, but not enough. We have to make the further step for the further detailed and more effective development work. So this is the new paradigm for the action of the people, the planet, and prosperity to strengthen universal peace in a larger freedom. And they made detailed goals. 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and under the 17 development goals, they made more detailed sub-target. 169 sub-target. So, comparing to the MDGs, Sustainable Development Goal, they made more goals and more target. 8 goals with 21 target and 17 goals and with 169 target. The size is upgraded. So based on the concept of MDGs, to realize the human right of all, or to achieve the gender equality and the empowerment of the all women and girls, they expanded the paradigm. And they made 3 pillars, basic pillars for the sustainable development: economics, societies, and environment. So the economic, social, environmental point dimensions are 3 pivot for making the goals and target. Okay, so international societies must consider economic, social, and environmental issues. And then they established the goals. Okay, we have to see the many goals. First thing, goal 1, number 1, is no poverty. It is never-ending story. Poverty is the fundamental things in every day. Even in the MDGs, poverty was the first goal. And then in the MDG, they made poverty and the hungerness, it was the one goal, but they separated it. Poverty, number 1, hungerness, number 2. So no poverty, no hungerness, they are the separate 1 and 2 goals. Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Human beings must live with happiness. But health is the fundamental thing for the happiness. So to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all people, development work must be related to that. Goal number 4, quality education. Ensure the inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning is, these things, is the quality education. Do you remember that? What was the one of the main goals for MDGs regarding education? Primary education. But in the SDG, they said that not just primary education. Primary education, okay. Then plus something. Lifelong education is also important thing for the sustainability of people. And the upgrading the quality of education, it is also important point. So, number 4, quality education became one of the major goals for the in the SDG. Gender equality, number 5. It is, also never-ending thing. But international society realized that with the MDG, gender equality, we have done many things, but not enough. We are still hungry, so we have to do more. To achieve the gender equality or empowerment of the woman, gender equality became the goal number 5. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. Well, comparing to the former days with the MDGs, sustainable development work is more detailed. They have the more detailed goals. For example, clean water. They in the MDG seasons, they never talk about the clean water in the higher level, but they realize that to make the health of the human beings, we need basically, very basic, clean water, the essential things. Then sanitation to be good for health. So we have to manage the clean water and the sanitation system. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. To make economic development or to make better lifestyle in the developing world, we need energy. But the energy must be made by more eco-friendly ways. Not just the needs of energy. We need energy of eco-friendly system. So, affordable and clean energy. Clean energy means eco-friendly energy. To ensure access for the affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy, we have to do something. So, under the goal 7, we'll have the more detailed target, right? Yes. Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. To make last step of the development, what was that? We have to make developing country as a developed country. If we finish the development work, then that should be the final stage must be every developing country must disappear. Every country, became developed world. So for that, economic growth is the fundamental things. So for the sustainable economic growth, we have to do many jobs. The many jobs should be made under the sub-target under the goal number 8. Goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. These can be also related to the economic growth. But economic growth are a bit different things from the infrastructure things. In here, infrastructure is not just for the economic growth. It is also for our life, for good health, for the good, further or better education. So, to make inclusive or sustainable industrialization or foster innovation of our life, we need better infrastructure or innovation or better industry. Please think about that. it's not just for the narrow area of economic growth. It is also related to the social work and also environmental work. Yeah? Yeah. Please remember that the three pivot, economics, work, and social work, and environmental work. So, with the SDG, we have to change the paradigm. Not just the development work is not just for the eradication of the poverty. We have to consider the environment or our society as well. Okay, guys, let's see the goal number 10. Goal number 10 is the reduction of inequalities. Yeah, it is also related to the empowerment of women, but we, international societies, needed more detailed goals. Any kind of inequalities, not just for the gender equalities, but also inequalities of the ages or the countries, yeah. We have to reduce the gaps between the countries or ages or other things. Gender equality must be a part of these things. But, yeah, we have to see more area, many other areas regarding inequalities. So, reduce any kind of inequalities must be a goal number 10. 11, yeah, the sustainable cities and communities. We have to see the cities, our cities, especially the cities in the developing countries. They have many social problems. So we have to change the cities more sustainable ways. And we have to revitalize the communities. With that, the cities and communities can be very helpful for our life and the countries. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Consumers, they always think about their benefit. However, they, for a long time, they never ask the environmental issues and social issues. Therefore, consumers must think about, they must consider the economic benefit plus environmental benefit or social benefit. If consumer asks to that point, then producers will see that point as well. So, sustainable consumption and the sustainable production, it is needed. So, the responsible consumption and production is goal number 12. Climate action, oh yes, it is directly related to the environment issues, but it's not just environment issues. Sustainable economy is needed the good adjustment with the changes of climate. So, with the changes of our weather, climate, we have to make some kind of action. So, but it is urgent thing. So, we have to take the urgent action to against the climate changes and their effect. Number 14, life below water. Ah, yeah. We have the continent, but many skins of the earth is the sea. So we have to use ocean and seas or marine resources more effective ways, considering future, right? So now it's time to think about the life below water. Okay, let's move on to the 15, life on land. If we say that goal number 14 is life under the sea, then life on land is also important. They are networked, they are connected together. Protect, restore, to promote sustainable use of the terrestrial ecosystems, and sustainably manage forests, combat desertification. So we have to protect the land as well. 16, peace, justice, strong institution. We have to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for the sustainable development. We have to have safe societies and justifiable good things in our societies. Institutions must have their own power to keep the peace. So international society, they must boost or stimulate to have good institutions, right? And then the good institution can make the partnership with the United Nations and the OECD, etc. And they can make the better solution for the development work. And then last one, partnership. Yeah. You may feel that each goal has the kind of directly or indirectly the connection. So we have to make the synergy effect with the combination of the goals. So to strengthen the means of implementation, we have to make the global partnership for the sustainable development. Okay, let's see the 17 icon. Sustainable Development Goal, which was launched by the United Nations in 2015. This is the very brand new one, and until the maybe 2030, international society must do many things for these goals. These 17 goals has many sub-action plan, 169. So think about it. Nearly 170 different actions must be done in the whole international societies. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and affordable and clean energy, and decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and the infrastructure. Number 10, reduce inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. Responsible consumption and production. Climate action. Life below water, life on land. And last two things, peace, justice, and strong institution, and the partnership for the goals. So they are combined together, networked, worked, connected together. Okay, let's briefly see the other systems. Addis Ababa Action Agenda. Yeah, Addis Ababa is in the African city. So in 2015, the international society gathered into the city to watch what happened to us for the development issues. And since then, we developed these works nearly every year. So Addis Ababa Action Agenda became one of the seed for the further step. Sendai from a framework for disaster risk reduction. In Japan, the international societies, they started to consider disaster risk issues. It is related to the MDG or SDG. So since 2015, with these issues, international societies, they opened their eyes. Okay, disaster risk is also important things for their development issues. They tried to make linkage with the SDGs, with disaster issues. And also Samoa is the Pacific area. Yeah, they gather into this area and they started to talk about the sustainable development issues in the small island and developing country, such as Samoa. Yeah. So we can say that since the SDG, many international events happened in many ways for development issues. Comparing to the former days, we can say that we have the varieties of the event for the sustainable works. Let's wrap up the works of the MDG or SDG. MDG was the first common goal by the United Nations. It was the seed for the changes of paradigm of the international societies. Right? MDG works is over in the 2015. Since then, SDG replaced the functions of MDG. They made new goals and new targets. Therefore, international societies could make more detailed works under the 17 goals with 169 targets. Compared to the former paradigm, MDGs, we can say that we have more detailed goals and targets, considering more dimensions. Okay, guys, you may understand what happens to the international societies in recent days, since 2000, right? From MDG to SDG, international societies could make the progress with more detailed things, considering sustainability. All right? Thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you next lecture. Bye-bye.